YouTube, welcome, whack'em, whack'em, whack'em. The doors of the church are open. Welcome to the Sunday show, 4 p.m. Diesel TV. We appreciate everybody coming. Make sure you hit that cash app. Make sure you hit and support the channel any way you can. Everything is welcome. Today we are going to have a conversation, guys. We are going to have a conversation with one of my guys that I met here on YouTube. So what happened was, I'm gonna go ahead and bring him up if he's ready. Give me a thumbs up if you're ready. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and bring him up. What's going on, CJ, Christopher J? What's going on, baby? How you doing?
Doing good, man. How you feeling?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Everybody, this is Christopher J. He runs the BTSI show on YouTube. If you don't know who he is, go ahead and subscribe to him. The BTSI show. He is in a sector of he is not an police officer. Correct. But he is in a sector of security. He does the high risk accounts for security companies. As you can see, this motherfucker built like a gorilla. He is built like a gorilla, and he is a big dude. So, and Native girl, don't be waving. Native girl is my girl, Chris. Stay in your place. Anyway,
I'm good.
Anyway, so Chris, when I sent you that message about this show today, I kind of put my foot in my mouth and I reacted to something people were saying about a comment that you made, right? Mm-hmm. And part of that comment was, I don't know if you remember on the Lapeef show where you made the comment of making your wife feel comfortable while you're at work by calling her, stuff like that, right? Mm-hmm. And I had a little problem with it, right? So today I want to discuss like how is it dealing with somebody that's either in law enforcement or deals with things that you deal with at work? Because, you know, quite frankly, your job is a lot riskier than mine, right? You call us after everything is done and you're there while it's going down.
Correct.
Right. So I wanted to have this discussion about how it was to be in a relationship with a guy that's in our fields.
Right.
And the comment that I was off was that you made, if you remember what it was, can you tell me what that comment was?
With what I do for a living, based off of my personal experience, like I said, I've been involved with a few shootings. And also, like I said, I saw a guy with his head blown off. Mm-hmm. See the inside of his head and all. Now, regarding the shootings, that was at my previous employer. A couple of times, ABC 13 pulled up to the property. Mm-hmm. And my wife watches ABC 13. So, knowing that, I said to myself, it will behoove me to let her know, because it's like, it's best if it comes from me than a second source. Now, and also, now that I got the opportunity, although I corrected in the comment, I want to say I was being facetious when I said my wife had a heart attack. She did not get a literal heart attack, but she was scared, worried that I'm involved in a situation to where I could have never came home. Right. So the fact that you're dealing with somebody in law enforcement, or in my case, the private security realm, yeah, it could be taxing on one's mental capacity and emotional capacity. Right. So now, granted, when me and my wife met, I was not in the security show. I got into that later. Okay. So with all of that, it's very taxing. Right. Granted, she's at ease now because I was able to walk her through it. I was able to calm some things down. Like I said, every now and then I'll check in with her. And also, there are some things, I will openly admit, there are some things I don't tell her.
Bro, like, come on, we're gonna go through that. No, okay. Like this. Yes, we're gonna go through all that. But the reason why I had the reaction that I had is because somebody told me you made this comment. I had to go back and watch to actually see what the context was, but somebody told me you made this comment. I check in with my wife because to make her feel comfortable. Mm-hmm. Right. And the reason why I didn't like that is because, you know, I've been in law enforcement for almost 20 years now, right? And every time I've tried to do that, it just makes things worse.
Mm-hmm.
And the only reason I say that is because, you know, there are some nights where you can just ride around and nothing happens. But then there are some nights where you are like balls to the wall, your whole 12-hour shift, and there's no way you're going to be able to check in. So if your partner is used to you checking in every day, then all of a sudden, and we all know how women are, they're not logical thinkers most of the time. They think with emotion, right? And just because they see something that might have happened on the news, they think you're involved just because you're not answering your phone or you're not checking in, right? So I've always made it a point, because I tell women all the time that I date, you just don't have any idea what it is to date a law enforcement officer, date a police officer, sheriff's deputy, somebody in security. You have no clue what it is, right? They don't know what it is until they live that life. And it's a very hard life because there is a lot of secrets. There are a lot of things we can't tell them, and there are a lot of things that we just don't want to tell them, because it's like, if you found out what I did, you'll be thinking I'll be doing that every day. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's one of those things you would really think. Like, I was dating a female, right? She had no idea I was on a SWAT team for at least 3 years. I never told her I was on the SWAT. I hid that from her. She thought I was just a regular patrol officer. I didn't even tell her I was on the SWAT team. I didn't tell her what I was dealing with or anything like that. When I worked for Homeland Security Task Force, they didn't know anything about what was going on, right?
Right.
So there are a lot of things that we do have to hide from these women. And when it comes down to it, like, I've been accused of, you know, being unfaithful in a relationship a lot of times. But a lot of the times that I have been accused, it's been because I've been hiding what I'm actually doing at work to save their thoughts. You know what I'm saying? So it comes to a point where, you know, it's taxing on both sides when you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So that's all that's where I was at when it came to that comment. So what do you think about the whole, because I've had women tell me, it would be nice if you just checked in with me. It would be nice if you did this. And guarantee you, I tell you, the day that I do check in are the days that I go through a whole bunch of shit. The days that I don't check in are the days where I ain't got nothing going on. And it's like, listen, I got into this and it made me think about you. I just want to check in with you. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of females don't realize that. That's why I'm checking in, because I've been through some shit that, you know, I just want to let you know I'm here. I love you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So how do you feel about that?
Well, I have no problem with how you handle the situations. Like I said, depending on the severity will determine if I probably just want to keep this close to me, play it close to the vest, and just not tell her anything. Hey, how was your day? Hey, today was good. Today was great. Never mind the fact I almost got into a knife fight, a gunfight, and I was like this close to not come home. But other than that, today was good. Some things you just gotta keep away from those. Some people say, when should you lie to your woman? That's when you lie. I am a liar. I have said no, hear me out. I have said that plenty of times. I am a liar for a good reason. I know emotionally how strong you are. Let me rephrase that. I know how emotionally you're not strong, mentally, and all this other stuff. I know where you lie in the on the meter, on a scale of 1 to 10. I know where you fall. If you was a 10, like an 8, 9, or 10, regarding how strong you are in those realms, sure, I can tell you what's going on through my everyday basis. But majority of women, I'm sorry, you may be mentally, emotionally strong in this particular area, but in this stuff that we do every day, you don't want to know what we do, because we know what already goes through your mind on a regular basis. I will take a cheating allegation before you find out what I'm really doing.
Yeah, you know what, and that's the thing. Like, I'm not a liar. You know, I don't necessarily lie, but I will tell them you don't need to know. And sometimes that works and sometimes that doesn't, because they go for the gusto. Like, it's like they think of the worst thing ever that could possibly come to their mind. And it might be just that I just didn't have anything going on, but I don't want to get into the the atmosphere of I'm telling you some things and then I'm not telling you other things, and you know why I'm not telling you it, because I might have possibly could have lost my life. I might have possibly taken somebody's life, or had to get into a bad fight, or something, seen somebody that was, you know, didn't have the hair, because, you know, seeing a decapitated person is nothing new to me. I've seen so many of them in my career. It's nothing new. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes down to it, I don't feel like I have to lie. I feel like my person, whoever I'm dealing with at the time, needs to understand that there is going to be a lot of things that we just don't talk about. You know what I'm saying? Now, I have gotten a lot of females that I've dealt with have said that I am very quiet. I don't talk about my day. I don't talk about what I got going on. I don't say anything about when it comes to the job. You know, like the new situation. Right. So the new situation I am here now, right? We had a situation where one of my residents cut down some trees to demolish a house, right? It was a new house they were building. They didn't like the growth, so they just started cutting down trees to hit new houses, right? All over the news. I was on the news, I had been on the news and everything like that. So they're calling the person that I'm dealing with and let her know what's going on, and she's feeling some type of way because I didn't let her know what's going on. And she's the last one to find out about it. And I said, and in my mind, I was like, I'm glad you're the last one to find out about it. This does not concern you. Right. And I don't want you to think that I'm going to tell you anything that pertains to the job. Now, there are some times I might go to my loved one and say, hey, you know, this is what's happening with the guys, or this is what's happening with my boss. I'm feeling some type of way about that. But when it comes to like enforcing the law and things that are going on like that, I don't have any discussion on that. Right. And it's hard for women to understand that. You know what I'm saying? Do you fall into that same issue?
See, here's the difference between you and I. You're an actual police chief, so it's nothing for you to be in front of camera. It's almost, it comes with the job.
Right.
Get ready to see a camera. Get ready to see a microphone. Get ready to, someone's gonna have the recording. That's on Monday through Friday.
Right.
Not 9 to 5. It's a guarantee. See, in my case, with those situations, the only reason why I told my wife is because ABC 13 was going to be there. And I was like, no, I need to tell her this first before anything find out. If it's not going to hit the news cycle, depending on if it's really bad, and I know it's not going to hit the news cycle, I won't tell her a thing. Right. But if I see a reporter coming with the microphone and a camera, if I had the time, I'd talk to my phone, send a message. Something happened at work. It's going to be on ABC 13. Call you back. Or 911, or whatever the case may be. I'll let her know beforehand, like, here's what happened. I'm okay. The situation is settled. I'm letting you know that because it's going to be on the news.
Right.
So I give her that heads up, because when you talk about women, like, I think women is more prone to get anxiety more so than a man.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's just like, how do I nip that in the butt? If she knows and it came from me, it will be at ease. Versus, why did you tell me such and such happened? And it's going to cause a rift. Like, never mind me. She's watching my son. She's taking care of a whole household. So the thing is, how do I make sure my household stays in order? This is not me simping. This is not me pandering. This is not me doing whatever, like a Russell Wilson or Will Smith type of, or Dwayne Wade type of scenario. This is like, look, if she's not okay, my son is not okay.
Okay, so let me say this, because I really thought you was Will Smith in it. I thought you were the only. I thought
a lot of people were. I know.
The gist I got from what they told me. Now, after I saw that clip, I knew exactly where you were coming from, right? But the gist of what they told me was the only reason you do it is because your wife requests that you do it, right?
Right.
So the gist I got was, oh, you wouldn't be doing it any other reason other than the fact that she told you to do it. And I think, and that's where I had a hard time with it. After I looked at the clip, which I can show the clip if we want to see it. I've got it ready to be shown, but yeah, let me show this clip real quick, and we will discuss it more after I show this real short clip.
Go.
Let me see. Get on full screen. All right. I think it is. Why is it not playing? Oh shoot! I got it on the wrong thing. Hold on, man.
That's all good. Take your time, man.
All right, here we go. Let's play it.
I have been involved in 2 or 3 shootings, and I've seen a guy with his head blown off. And all this came on the local news, and my wife gets a heart attack because her fear is I'm never going to come back home. That's her biggest fear, that I'm never coming back home every time I walk out the door. So at the bare minimum, there's nothing wrong with me just checking in her to relax her anxiety. Like, baby, I'm okay. You ain't got to worry about nothing. Matter of fact, I'm on this side of town if anything happens. Because I'm not a police officer. I'm not law enforcement. But what I do, I might as well be called a police officer. I'm not, because I get paid more than some of the officers in the city. So doing something that small to calm her down will do wonders for my household. That way my son is fully taken care of, the house is fully taken care of, and that's one less thing that she has to worry about. I hardly used to do that, but when she sat me down and really told me about it, it's like, you know what? Just every now and then throughout the day, if I'm not too caught up in the call, I'll just be like, hey babe, how you doing? What you up to? Just
all right. So after I saw that, you know, I understood where you were coming from, right? Because I've had women tell me before, hey, can you at least just check in with me so I can make sure you're good and all this and all that. And it's like, it's not the fact that, because that whole conversation was about making your wife happy, and if that really is happiness or content or whatever it was, that whole conversation was about, right? I don't not do it. I don't say no because I don't want to make her happy and I don't want to feel like a simp. The reason why I say no is because I know ultimately that could lead to more anxiety than her just getting used to me not talking to her, right? Because you have to get used to a certain lifestyle when you're dealing with a police officer.
Right.
The main fact is that I may not come home, right? So in my past, I've seen it to where I would check in, just like you said, hey, just random times. I would check in, hey, what you got planned for dinner? What the kids doing? What y'all got planned? You know, how was this? How was that? Just regular talk, not checking in. It wasn't a, hey, I'm checking in, I'm good, bye. It wasn't nothing like that, right? Because that's basically what you're saying you do. You just have a regular conversation, just to ease them saying that you're still here, right? But then there's times where I am legitimately not busy. I have just arrested one person for a DWI on the weekend, and it takes 6 hours to get them processed in the jail, right? There is no phone service in the jail.
Right.
My phone don't work in the jail. So when I get off and I go home and I talk to him the next day, or even if we're living together and I go home, she's up waiting on me to get home because she thought something was going on because she's so used to me checking in, right? So I feel like when it comes down to it, that I think that makes more anxiety for a person than them just assuming that you're busy or something like that and you'll be home later, right?
Right.
So, and that's why I've taken that approach. A lot of females look at it as me just being a hard ass and not wanting to just do this one little small thing for them, right? And I don't like to look at it as a little small thing, because what I like to look at is how things are going to affect the long run. You get what I'm saying? And I may be wrong, but that's just how I feel about that whole situation.
Well, and here's the thing about that. See, sometimes to alleviate that, you gotta sit down and explain to them the job process. Me, I'm a security, so it's real simple. I go, I say, hey, at work, or if I'm talking to her on the way to work, say, hey, I pulled up. Talk to you. I'll call you later. I'll talk to you later. It's real simple. Clock in, get my car, get my K9, head out, go to this spot, go to another spot that she knows I'm at during the week, and afterwards I may stay longer, just work an extra post or two, or I just may come straight home. See, I I have a schedule, and it's very consistent. So she, for the most part, she knows where I'm at during the day. So if she was able to say what's going on, she knows where I'm at. So that's not a problem. Or if I go somewhere at night, every now and then I'll call in and just to say, hey, what you guys are doing. Just have a regular conversation. And usually they're in bed by a certain time anyway. So she's not staying up waiting for me when I get home. The whole house is asleep.
Right.
So like that's one, because I explained to her what I do, and at times I showed her what I do, it alleviates a lot of stress and whatever the case may be. Now, like I said, if I'm involved in a situation and I'm really going to be home late or something like that, I was like, before you turn on the news, here's what happened.
Right. And you know what? I'll do the same thing too. I'll tell them if something happens and I know it's going to hit the news, because once they see my face, it could be on Facebook, it could be on anywhere. If they see my face and it's got a story involving there, and it's only because I'm the chief, right? I don't even know what the investigation involves. They just put my face up there because I'm the chief, right?
Right.
Just because they put my face up there, she gets a bunch of calls about, hey, what happened? They don't even read the story. They just see my face and they read the headline and they say, hey, what happened? Is he okay? Or, whatever. I had an officer get into an accident and they put my face on it. Right. And she's asking me, why didn't you tell me you got to do that?
Lazy journalist, that's what I call it.
Right. So it's one of those things, if I know about it, I'll let her know, but I've been in situations where females have asked me, hey, I need you to check in so I can make sure you're good. And I just can't I don't want to get anybody in the habit of making sure they hear from me every night. You know what I'm saying? Now, it might be different with, what you do and what I do, because you are what I call security is. So law enforcement is the first responders, right? We respond to whatever's going on, right?
Yeah, right.
Security, they're the first callers. They call us because it's going on. You know what I'm saying? So their jobs are a lot more in danger instead of our jobs. So our jobs are dangerous, right? Law enforcement is a dangerous job, no doubt, right? But when it comes down to it, you have one major thing that's going against a security officer. The fact that if a crime is committed, and I don't know in your state, I know here in North Carolina, security can't arrest, right? They can detain, but they cannot arrest, right? So a lot of people.
Yeah, you're right. It's always we can never arrest. It's detainment. Now, if it's a felony, or I feel like your life or my life is in danger, then I'm gonna put the bracelets on you, and we're gonna hold you here until the police come.
Right. I mean, you can do it for a misdemeanor here. You can detain as long as we got a reasonable amount of time, right? It's that a reasonable amount of time for law enforcement to get there, do their thing, whatever. But when it comes down to it, security, like, you don't know how big of a help security is when we get on scene, because they've seen everything. And getting back to what I was going to say, because I almost forgot. One of the biggest things that I have a problem with security is people don't respect you. So they will break that crime and they will have that shootout in front of you because they know you're not the police, right? So that makes your job even more dangerous.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I kind of get where you're coming from with what you got going on and your wife, right? Because you are married.
Right.
I kind of see what you got going on with you and your wife. When I was married, that was never an issue because basically the person that I married she basically knew exactly how law enforcement worked, right? It wasn't I'm gonna be able to call you at this time, I'm gonna be able to call you this many times, like, you never know when. So she got used to the fact that there would be some nights where I wouldn't call. As long as I came through the door a little bit after my shift, then she was good. If it was an hour or two after my shift, she would start getting worried and start sending me a text message. And then I would make sure she knew that I was good, but it was never one of those things. But like I said, I've been in situations where people just don't know how law enforcement is and how it is to be with law enforcement. And it's a huge problem.
And no, that's a big problem. And one thing is you gotta know who you're dealing with as far as who you're going to get involved with. And you gotta just check to see if they're cut from a certain cloth to handle this. That's what I always tell people. Your first 3 dates before you make it official is always important. You got to find out, is she capable of being with somebody that is in this lifestyle? Find it out real quick before you make a commitment, and you just wasted everybody's time.
Right.
Some like most people, men, women, I don't care. Most people are not ready for this.
They're not. They're not.
Not even a little.
They're not. A lot of people aren't ready for law enforcement all around. A lot of people aren't ready for being the enforcer or being the security all around. And I'm talking about the wife aspect, girlfriend aspect, and even the boyfriend, husband aspect, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, men don't want to see their women going out there in that uniform and not being able to protect them, because that's ultimately
right. That's a different type of
where we're at. That's a totally different, that's a totally different ball game. We're not even going to get into that.
Right.
But just like Red Lipstick Vibes. Red Lipstick Vibes is in a comic, and if you want to come up, go ahead and hit the link.
Hey, Red.
Red Lipstick Vibes. She knows what it is to be with a police officer, right? Because I don't even know exactly her situation. I don't want to put it out there, if married or not. I don't really know, but I know she knows what it is to be with somebody that is in law enforcement. And I would love to get that perspective when it comes from a female as to if how I'm handling the situation is feasible or if it's reasonable or not. Because I have never gotten the other side of how people think from another female that dates a law enforcement officer. I've only got it from the person that I'm dating. Right. Mm-hmm. So I would love to hear what the other side of a person that is with another law enforcement officer, has been, or something like that, so they can give their perspective when it comes down to it. Because like I said, I really don't want to say that I'm all the way right, but I know what kind of issues that this one conversation has caused in past relationships. Right.
Right. Matter of fact, I can tell you one. My wife, because I get recruited all the time. It don't matter what branch it is or whatever the case may be. There's always a police officer always recruiting me. And one time they say one of the easiest way to get into the academy or whatever the case may be is to go be a jailer, go work the jails for like 2 years. CO or something to that extent. Now, my wife is very supportive of everything I do. There's something
she ain't gonna let you work in that jail.
Right. There's something she don't like. She's just gonna have to she deal with it and be supportive. And there's one thing I can tell you, she put her foot down. Granted, that's not something I was interested in doing anyway. She put her foot down on that because she knew a friend that did that and he got killed inside.
Right.
So if there's anything, she did not want me to do that at all. Like I said, I wasn't interested, but she would have put her foot down on that one.
Well, Chris, let me tell you this. I'm gonna tell you this right now. If you ever move to North Carolina, I'll put you through the academy.
Hey man,
best believe it. Yes, best believe it. So let's dive into some other issues that may come up when it comes to dealing with somebody in security or law enforcement, because your situational awareness is totally different than anybody else's in the world. Right? Being in law enforcement or security, you just know what to look for, what to call out, what to point out.
Right.
Let me ask you this. Do you have a code word or have you had that discussion with your wife to say, when I tell you to go to the car, you go to the car?
Have you ever had no, it's just real simple. Go to the car. Or just go. Don't ask me no question as well. I'll take it later. Just go.
Right. So that was one of the things that because I've worked 11 years undercover narcotics. Like, out of those 11 years, 9 of them all I did was undercover purchases. My last 2 years, I did the actual investigations, but the 9 years, I just straight up did undercover purchases, and that's all I did. Right. So there was a time where I would tell every female that I dated or anything like that, if it got serious enough and we was going to be seen in public more often, I would say, hey, when I say go to the car and go home. Don't worry about me. Just go to the car and go home. Right. And I've had to do it twice, which one of them didn't turn out into nothing, but the other one did. Right.
Right.
So when it comes down to it, even if that is not even a situation, if we're walking in the parking lot and I see something going down, right, and I tell my woman, you know, either do this, do that, get in front of me, get behind me, whatever. We need y'all's cooperation. We don't need y'all to be sitting there asking us why. Okay, we just need your cooperation. Just do it.
No, 100%. If I tell you to do something, just do it. It's because there's something, I'm always going to see things from a bird's eye view, a 360 view. Even crowd of people, like we went to, it was rodeos in Houston a couple of months ago. It was a Bumby concert. It had 75,000 people. Get behind me. I'm going to get us through this crowd of people because I'm 6'1", 6'2", so I'm already got an advantage over a lot of people. Right. All right, we're gonna go here, we're gonna go there, and typically with my size, people tend to get out of my way.
Oh hell yeah!
More so than not.
Oh hell yeah! You're a big boy.
So hey, I tell people, me being 6'1", 6'2", 330, it has its advantage. So yeah, it's so like just move out of my way, please.
Right, and you know, I've been, you know, I'm a homebody now that I've seen everything, you know, because. Before I got in law enforcement, I did 3 years of kind of like the same thing you're doing. But the accounts that we had were, you know, you went to Waffle House from 2 a.m. to 6 p.m. after the club let out. But before you went there, you was at the club that you worked. So how it worked out was the company I had accounts with a lot of nightclubs and it had account with the Waffle House. Right. So they would give you the nightclub and the Waffle House that was closest to that nightclub, so you knew what fights were going to trickle down. It might arrive at Waffle House, right? Been in a lot of altercations, shootings, stabbings, all kinds of stuff going on at Waffle House. But you know, even then, when I was getting paid $10 an hour, didn't have no daggone insurance. That was fun. I had a ball. I literally had a lot of fun laying them guys down. You know what I'm saying? I was just out of football. I was in great shape. Like you couldn't tell me nothing. Right. You know what I'm saying? But looking back, it's like, boy, I was a dumbass. Right. I was really stupid because I was doing some crazy stuff back then. Like I was putting myself in the line of fire just so I could have get that adrenaline rush. Right. Right. And a lot of females see that and they think that that's what this whole job is about. Because even now, like I do have a lot of fun, you know, getting into a chase every now and again. You know what I'm saying? I have my adrenaline rush, you know, chasing somebody down. You know, I don't run like I used to, but I still run a little bit. You might, you know, I'll get you in the first 20 yards, we good. Right. After that, I'm gonna have to let you go. But when it comes down to it, you know, I still have that need for adrenaline rush because I'm a man, right? And I think that a lot of females are scared about that because they feel like we already put ourselves in harm's way when we work. And now how much are we doing it now? Right. And I'm getting way off talking. I'm all over the place, but this
I get you. It's part of the job description.
Right.
They give us the assignment to do. Are you qualified to do it? Hey, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
See, this is why I don't like people right here. See, I would call you out. I would call you out. I'm not gonna call you out. I would call you out, but I'm not gonna call you out. See, Tyler, I am gonna call him out. He's supposed to be working. That's one of my officers. he's supposed to be working. And that's the thing. See, you got people like this right here. Let me tell you though. Let me tell you, hey, one of the best officers I got, man. I only got 2, but he one of the best. I'm just playing. I'm just playing. But yeah, man. So what are one of the other things that you see as a problem when it comes to males getting into relationships with females that are in our field? Coming from a man, what do we do that's just totally wrong when it comes to females?
Yikes. I could make an argument getting in a relationship with them is the wrong thing to do. But who am I? Because I met my wife at work and we've been married 6 years. The mistake is that while you're supposed to have your police hat on, you have your boyfriend hat on. You have to let your woman do her job. She knows how to do it. Otherwise, they would not hire her. She would not be in that field. She did not know how to do it. She has her hat on as a police officer or as a security officer. Let her do her job, because nothing's going to ruin a relationship is if you're a boyfriend on the job when you're supposed to be a police officer having her back.
Right.
So please know what hat to wear when you're at work and when you're off the clock.
And so let's reverse that. What do male police officers do wrong when they get into with a female? When it comes down to it, because I see a lot of officers that we put so much time in. We have no other choice but to meet women on the job, right?
Right.
I've met a lot of women on job, and I've always had this stance since day one. I will never holler at a female while I'm working. Never holler at a female while I'm working. Now, if they ask me for my number, I'll give it to them, but I won't holler at a female, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I always try to keep it as professional as I can while I'm at work, because I don't want anybody saying that I don't want to get me too.
Right.
So I always have kept it that way. But
go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I say for me, even now, this alone gives me more attention than I want out there in my street clothes. Now you want to talk about I'm wearing a uniform, a tactical uniform at that? Yeah, I get hollered at damn near all the time. All the time. Now, like you said, I'm professional, I'm friendly. That's as far as it goes. I'm not, no, seriously, because that's as far as it goes. I'm not going no further. And in some way, shape, or form, if you drag on this conversation longer than it needs to, in some way, shape, or form, I'm going to slip in that I have a wife. I'm going to slip in that I have a 5-year-old son. Because I want you to know this is where my boundaries are. I still got to go home to someone at the end of the day. I'm not going to jeopardize that for temporary feelings.
Right. And I think a lot of officers get messed up when it comes to that, because they get the attention, right? And they don't usually get that attention when they're out of uniform. Because I get attention when I'm out of uniform or in uniform, right? But if you have somebody that's not used to getting that attention, a uniform brings a lot of attention to you, right? So when you get into that position to where you're wearing a uniform and you have just females after females after females coming at you, it's hard for some guys to say, you start feeling yourself, right? And then you'll find a dude that always wants to come to work for some reason, always wants to be at work because he's loving that attention. So they get away from the actual job and they use it as a dating service.
Right.
When a lot of these females, man, that be around police, they kind of crazy.
Yeah.
They kind of crazy.
They're not worth it.
Right.
A little bit.
Right. So, I had a situation with one of my guys. I had to let him go. He got into a kind of like a relationship with a resident, and it went a little too far on shift. Because you know what? I really don't even know why. I really don't even know why. Because you only work for 12 hours and then you have every other weekend off. I have no idea why. But ultimately I had to let him go for it. So we got another person here. My girl, Red Lipstick Vibes. How you doing?
How you doing? You ran up my alley today.
You said what?
I said you right up my alley today. Well,
I kind of figured. So I'm glad you came up, because like I said, I've never got a perspective of a female that didn't have any stake in me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've never gotten an opinion from somebody that has been involved with a police officer outside of my relationship. So are you still involved? I don't know if I want to ask this question or not. If I'm going too far, please let me know.
No, you're good. He's no longer lieutenant, he's assistant chief now. So
my man, what?
Oh, he's watching. He's watching.
That's what I'm talking about. OAS. That ass. He ain't nothing but an ass.
Okay. That's my ass. That's my ass.
Right. Well, good. Congratulations to him.
But I saw the show you were on, Christopher, and I totally got it. What you were saying, I don't know how they took it out of context. That was really
leave it to Izzy and Fatty to take it out of context. But those are my brothers.
They took it way out of context.
Yeah,
because when they told me, I was like, Chris up here simping. He ain't no simp. What is he?
Right.
Yeah, I understood it completely. As soon as you started talking about the situation, I was like, yeah, I get it. I guess because I've been in it for almost 10 years.
Oh, okay. Well, good.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this.
Mhm.
What is some advice you can give to a female that is dating or married to a police officer or security officer?
So you have to have a different mindset, one. And I'm going to say this to the gentlemen when you're dating this person, please vet them very carefully, because you do have some women that are needy. They crave a lot of attention. Once you start the whole texting them every day, if you don't text them right away, they get bent out of shape. They're calling you about to bust the windows out the car, that kind of thing. So you have to have a certain type of temperament to be with someone in law enforcement, because I think you were saying it earlier in the commentary. There are some times where I will go days without hearing from King.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because, the nature of his job. But because, I know the ins and out of, the things that he does, I'm not bent out of shape. Like, why haven't you called me? What is this? But see, you have to have a certain type of mindset, so any type of woman that's very clingy, that's very needy. Yeah, I wouldn't, pursue a woman like that.
So this is one of my pet peeves when it comes to dating somebody, right? I don't know when we've gotten to this point where we can't just talk in front of each other, but I will be with you all day, get ready for work, be on shift for an hour, and you want to have a discussion about something you don't like and have an argument while I'm at work.
See, right? That's what I'm talking about. You cannot have a cantankerous woman. Don't do it, guys, because they will take you off your square. They will try to, when you have a woman like that, they will definitely try to take your mind off of what you're supposed to be doing. And this is when a lot of men get in trouble, not just in law enforcement, but anywhere. When a woman is at them, they're not watching their square, they're not watching their 6, their 9, their 12. And something happens because they engaged in this heated debate over who didn't take out the trash.
Right.
Yeah. No.
Something so trivial that doesn't even really need to be brought up right now. And then you wonder, like we say all the time, police officers are human. Yeah. Maybe that guy had a bad day. Maybe he just found out, something about his girl, or his girl brought something to him just like that. You know what I'm saying? It's never affected me that way, because I've always been the type of person, I don't bring home work and I bring work home. Right. So it's never been a real issue for me. I've never treated anybody disrespectfully unless they started that rise of disrespect first. Right. I've always, any complaint that I've ever had, all of them on video camera, I've been cleared, because I was very respectful up to that point to where I had to show my ass too. Right.
Yeah.
So it's never really gotten to me like that. But I've seen officers that are way out of their personality for some reason. They come to work and it's like, yo, bro, what, did you sleep wrong? What's going on?
It's the woman.
It's the women.
She'll wake up on the wrong side of the bed, and then it goes to see. And that's what I teach on my platform. Like, ladies, you have to be that place of peace for your man, because there has been times where King will be talking to me and he'll be going on and I have, hi baby, I have no problem.
We ain't doing that. We ain't doing that shit here. We are not doing that here.
I would just listen to him ramble up what's going on, what's bothering him. But a lot of women, especially we call them modern women today, they don't have the patience they don't have the temperament, they don't have the compassion, and most of all, they don't have the respect. Because I respect him and I respect the position that he holds in the community. I'm not going to do anything to jeopardize that.
Well, see, I think there's a problem because a lot of people just don't even understand the position.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. So, you know, when you're dating a police officer, driving under the suspended license is not cool. Right? Like, letting your registration go out is not cool. And then you want to call my name when you get pulled over.
I mean, you know,
we got somebody, we got a convicted. We got somebody that's convicted. Convicted felon.
You know, I do the rolling stop at the stop sign sometimes.
License registration,
FBI, open up!
Hey, listen, you saw written all over her face, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Whose name did you call when you get pulled over?
Say it.
Exactly.
I mean, there has been times, you know, I didn't say anything, you know. Well, as soon as they put it on the CV and they say, you know, such and such name and registration, he already knows what they're talking about.
See?
Oh, damn.
See, that's what I'm saying. It's like, you know, I was dating one chick, and she was cool and everything, but she let her license expire.
Well, I don't go there.
And like we have been dating for a while, and she let her license expire, and I'm like, what are you doing?
So when were you gonna tell me this?
When we
right.
When we, and I'm sitting there in a passenger seat while she's driving. You know what I'm saying? What an expired license? Yes.
Oh my god, yeah.
And if we would have got pulled over, they've been looking at me like, yo,
exactly.
What was you doing?
Right. Right. So I mean, that's the thing, like those kind of things, like and that's when I came to understanding. A lot of people don't understand what it is to be, because a lot of people think that, oh yeah, my license is all it is expired, right? That's all it is. It's nothing. They don't understand that it's still breaking the law.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So our jobs reflect on that. And if somebody thinks that I'm allowing somebody to break the law, that looks bad on me.
Right.
So what you trying to say, Diesel? I can't speed around the corner.
You know what? Speeding is one of those things. Now, if it ain't, I know how a lot of women got the lead foot.
Yes, I do.
Oh well, yeah. You need to chill out, because especially the assistant chief's woman.
I'm trying.
Ain't no trying. You need to do it. Especially
that best behavior.
You know, and you know what, and you know what, you can't really, you know, you already got your kids that could possibly make you look very bad. You know what I'm saying? Because being a police chief is almost like being a pastor. You know, your kids, they assume that your kids are the worst kids in the neighborhood, right? That's just what they assume, because you are. I mean, it don't happen with me, because you know I rings necks. But anyway.
But you know, that goes into what we were just talking about. You know, when women get into relationships with, especially with officers that in higher positions, it's sort of just like, you know, you being married to a politician or a pastor. You know, a lot of women say, I want to be first lady, but they don't hold the qualifications to be first lady.
There you go.
Right.
So
I need my moderators. Real quick. I need y'all to post Christopher J's channel, the BTSI show, and Red Lipstick Vibes, so we can get them some subscribers. Okay.
Let me put it in the chat for them.
Yeah, you can put it in the chat for them. Y'all go ahead and post their channels. Y'all go and subscribe to Red Lipstick Vibes and the BTSI show. I don't know why you made that shit so damn.
There's a reason for all that.
I know there's a reason, but that thing be getting me every single time. Y'all subscribe to their channels, man. Make sure you show them some love. Red Lipstick Vibes. I don't even know your schedule. I'll be trying to catch you, but I don't even know your schedule.
You're in MIA right now.
Oh, okay.
I'll be back, you know, probably.
Right.
I just do, you know, whenever I feel like it right now, but no regular schedule right now. So
okay. Well, like I said, if you need me to come on and be part of your panel and show, you know, cut up, I will. You know what I'm saying?
You know, how to reach you. Because you know I be saying things, you know.
Yo, I know. So let's talk about some other things. So let me ask you this, Red Lipstick Bob, because I asked Christopher this.
Just call me Miss Ty or Petty Red. You don't want to call me by last name.
Miss Ty.
Miss Ty or Petty Red. You don't gotta
I want to call you Red Lipstick Bob so people would know where to go to your channel.
I'm sorry.
Hey, this is etiquette. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be anyway. Christopher J. I'm just gonna call him Christopher J. because he ain't gonna make me look stupid with that BTSI bull crap. So anyway, so has King, well, Assistant Chief, has he ever come to you and said, "Hey, go to the car"?
No, we never had that kind of situation before.
Okay, good.
Because I'm usually, if I'm not like directly beside him, I'm like trailing behind him. You know, because despite how I talk on here, I'm very, very shy. So I'm kind of like, you know,
I can tell.
You know, I'm like hiding behind him most of the time, unless he got me drunk. But you know, that's something else.
Listen, this ain't that type of channel. This is a family channel. We're trying to keep this PG.
I mean, I can't feel my lips. It's time to go. It's time to go.
This is a PG channel. Chris, I know you got to go in a little bit, bro.
Oh, no, I was checking the time.
All right, so let me tell everybody. So I got after we have this discussion, we got another video coming up. I wanted to do a review on the ATF coming to people about the FRT triggers. I know a lot of you have seen this video, but I want to do a review on this video and go through the ins and outs of talking to ATF and stuff like that when it comes to this FRT trigger. Okay, and then if we have time after that, our boy Jay Prince has a video out there where did you see his live where he had that talk about the subway fight?
Not last night.
No, this was about a week or two ago. I was going to review it last Sunday, but that was Mother's Day, so I wasn't on live. But he had a video of an officer fighting a team, and the officer I don't know if the officer took it easy on him or not, but just some of the things that Jay Prince was saying that kind of bothered me. So I wanted to react to that and talk about that live. Yeah, that was just ridiculous. All right, so let's get on to more this. Let's talk more about this relationship step coming from you, Red Lipstick Vibes. Right? What do you feel like early on in the relationship your man could have done to help you really grasp being in a relationship with a police officer, right? What do you think he could have done?
Well, I mean, I'm not going to be like, you know, he's perfect or whatever, because he is. But anyway, actually, I don't. Actually, he didn't do anything that I would say to change or add to, because he made me feel comfortable out the gate. And I think it has something to do with, because I already knew and understand law enforcement. I already understood, you know, being in a position with a high position type man, because of the way I was raised with my parents. You know, my father was military, pastor. So I knew I got the gist of being a certain type of woman. So I don't think it would be anything, because he laid the foundation that I was comfortable with. So okay. I don't know if I could say he could do anything better.
So this comment that he made hits home, right? There has been time I would spend up our outing and we leave before I saw a potential situation. Like this hits home, because I've had so many people ask me, why do I always eat so fast and I'm so ready to go? Right? Because I don't like to sit around in public spaces. You know what I'm saying? That's one of my main things. It's like, if it's time to go, we don't need to be sitting here just lollygagging, talking and all that stuff, because I'm not all the way here anyway, because I got my head on the swivel. Right. And so a lot of people don't understand that. A lot of females, a lot of women that I've been with, they just don't understand that. Like, come on, let's go. It's time to go. Let's go. We're done eating. We can talk in the car. We can talk at home or whatever, but we don't have to be out in public doing all this talking.
You'll be a sitting duck, basically.
Right. Right. And you know, I already don't sit with my back to the door. I don't care what the situation is. If there was a time I went out, my family went out with my family. Everybody was already seated, and I let everybody know if I got to sit with my back to the door, I'm leaving.
That is so crazy. I think, oh my God, I think one of our first dates or something like that, and I wasn't, cognitive of all that what you're just saying, and I sat. I had him sitting in the booth with his back turned to, and he was like, I don't sit like this. I can't watch the door. And so, like when he said it, I was like, oh shoot, I should have sat on the other side. So that's very true.
I've had a girl not call me no more because I told her she needed to sit on the other side. I stopped a female from sitting down, and I said, no, you need to sit over here. I pulled the chair out for her and everything.
Yeah.
And she took offense to it because she was like, she felt like I was trying to run her before we even started whatever. And I had to let her know, no, I just don't sit with my back to the door for reasons. And she just couldn't grasp it. You know what I'm saying? Which is good because I found that out early enough to where I didn't even put no more time in it. Exactly. Right. But there are a lot of things that, law enforcement, we do when we're with our loved ones that they just don't understand. Mm-hmm. They really just don't understand.
Now I can tell you one thing that freaked me out though. The first he went on a date and he had the gun on. I was like, sir. I was like, where?
Oh, you started acting like a Karen? You started acting like a Karen?
He had a little house. Well, I think it was, I don't know. Was it on your leg or something? I don't know. It was concealed, but I saw him pull it out and stuff. I was like, oh God, what is happening now?
He was showing off. He was letting you know.
He was letting you know you are protected at all times.
Right. So what are some of the things you do, Christopher J, the BTSI show? What are some of the things that outside of, letting her know you're okay at work and all that stuff? Like, let's say you had a day at work and you come home, because I struggle with this a lot. I will say this. I struggle with this a lot. I don't talk about work outside of work. I do not have conversations with anybody outside of my job. And when it comes to my daughters, my girlfriends, my friends, even my best friend, I don't have that conversation about what's going on at work unless unless he has a question, something that he heard. I'll let him know what happened. Mm-hmm. So how do you navigate that?
Like I said, I don't tell her everything. So before the question is, like I said, if she's up or I come home early, and the question is, hey, oh, how was your day today? Trust me, I know what I'm saying, and I damn sure know what I'm not saying. Right. Some things I'm just going to have to take to the grave with me. Mm-hmm. And other than that, it was a great day at work. Drove around, walked the canine, and that's it. Just a boring day, which is a great day in my field.
Right.
But other than that, I'm more interested about how her day is going. What did you and Grayson do all day today? Well, my day is boring, so I always keep it like that.
So the vibe I get, and you tell me if I'm right about this red lipstick, the vibe I get from women, they feel like because they are dating a police officer, they should know the news before anybody else.
Some women do, but I'm nosy like that, and I'm always saying something. So sometimes I know stuff before he.
Detective red lipstick.
Okay, but do you get mad if he doesn't discuss it with you, or do you get?
Not at all, because I know that some things he can't tell me. Right. I don't view it as keeping.
My man.
I keep my ears to the streets, so yeah. I got my informants too. I know some things that he can't tell me, and I understand that. So there's no reason for me to get bent out of shape. But that's when I say, hey, Fatty.
Y'all subscribe to Team Fatty, man. That's my boy, Team Fatty. Appreciate you being in here, brother.
That's why I think that a lot of times, you have to be careful what type of woman you get with, because if you have to have a woman that you need to explain everything, you're gonna have a problem, because I know that there's gonna be situations where he can't tell me. you know.
Well, see, and I think that's the biggest problem with me is I don't tell nothing. I don't care. I don't tell anything. Even when the girl that I'm seeing, even when she saw that news channel, right? She saw that news story of the guy cutting down the trees. She was like, why didn't you tell me about this? I said, because there's nothing to tell. It has nothing to do with you, right? There's really not much to tell. He cut down trees. It fell on a house. Okay. And she was like, so is he crazy? This is that. I said, well, that's none of your business. Like, we're not going to discuss this whole situation. And she was kind of upset that I would not share that information, certain information with her, right? And I don't think it was the fact that she was upset because she just wanted to know. I think it comes back to she's always saying, I just don't talk. I always listen, but I don't talk.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Well, in my situation, King is he'll talk to me about certain things and certain things he won't. And I understand why he won't. You know, I have that understanding. My job is to make sure that I curate a place where he can come to me and talk to me about things.
Right.
I want to you ladies, we should be the ones, you know, when he comes home and say if he had the worst day ever in law enforcement. I should be able to be quiet, silent, and just listen.
Right.
I don't need to ask questions. I don't need to interrogate, but just listen and let him unload and keep whatever secrets that he's telling me to myself and not, you know, be a motor mouth and gossip and stuff like that. And see, that's where you have to make sure you trust the woman that you're with.
Well, see, and that's the difference between me because I do talk to her, right? I'll talk to her about stuff when it comes to personnel. Let me tell you what this dumb dude did, or the town manager getting on my nerves. You know what I'm saying? Town manager telling me to do this. You know what I'm saying? I'll talk about that kind of stuff. You know, but it's the investigations that.
Right.
Some people, you know, some people just want to be able to say, "I knew that before you did." Right.
Exactly. And then you could be talking to your girlfriends or something, and don't even realize that you slip up and said something.
Exactly.
So that's why I understand like some things you can't say.
Especially how much women talk. Good God. Am I wrong?
Yeah, I do talk.
Chat. Put ones in the chat if you think women talk too much.
I don't know.
Put ones in the chat if you think the women talk too much.
I cannot.
I'm typing too, buddy. I'm typing too, buddy.
All of y'all are fired. All of y'all.
I'm just saying, like, it's one of those things, you know. And I think it has a lot to do with my background because there was a lot of secretive stuff that I did when I worked for the federal government, did undercover and all that stuff. Like, I didn't discuss none of that. I think that's where it mainly comes from because I know that none of that stuff could be discussed of who I was dealing with or what I was dealing with. You know, even if it was in Texas. I'm in North Carolina, right? I used to travel to New Mexico, Arizona, and Texas a lot, right? Doing work. And whenever I would go and come back, there would be no story. Because and the thing that they could not grasp was they knew I was doing something. They just couldn't find out what it was I was doing. Right. And then when you look at these movies like Sicario, they think that's an everyday thing, right? Now, I will say there are some situations that were similar to that, right? You know, we would find bodies and all. I mean, like it's just just all kinds of stuff, right? But it still was something that I did not want to discuss, mainly because once you put that story in that person's mind and you can't fill it with a new story, that's always the story they're going to go back to. If they know that I went out of town one time and I got into a shootout or I almost got stabbed or I got robbed or something like that doing undercover, they're going to think that's going to happen every time I go if I don't have nothing else to tell them. And that's why, and that's just human nature. That is just human nature. It has nothing to do with a woman or a man. That's just human nature, right? So that's why I try to keep them with their own story, and I just be like, yo, you come up with your own imagination, you figure that out on your own.
I think, well, with me, I just think that I just come home.
Right.
I don't need to know everything that you did today, but I just want to make sure that you come home. Just come home. Don't come home with bullet holes and all that kind of stuff. Just come home. And I think, like I said earlier, you know, if you have the type of woman that needs that attention, that validation, you know, I need to know every aspect of your life. There's a problem there because somewhere she's figuring that she can't trust you for some reason. So then you need to evaluate that part.
A lot of so I think a part of that is that a lot of women see the type of attention law enforcement get.
Yeah.
Right. So they just assume that you're getting that attention because they see everybody else getting that attention. Mm-hmm. You know, but I wouldn't say that is a total lie because I have gotten a lot of attention while in uniform.
Yeah.
But I get just as much attention while I'm not in
uniform now.
Right. Right. So it's what it comes down to. One of those things is like, you like me in uniform, you should expect other people to like me in uniform.
Correct.
Right? Exactly. Don't just assume that it's going to be something new to me and I'm not going to be able to handle myself.
Exactly.
Right. So, and I wish a lot of women would understand that when it came down to the women I'm dating anyway. I'm not saying you're like that, Lipstick Box. I know you're on a whole nother level.
Yeah, you know I think a lot of times with women, look, okay, I look at him too. He fun. Okay, so I know he fun too.
Right,
so,
right.
I mean, I don't get, like I said, it's the mindset of the woman. If you're not confident and strong in your relationship and in him, you don't trusting him or whatever, child, it doesn't bother me. You know, sometimes he'll be on the phone and I hear a woman say something like, child, she better stop or she get her head cut off. But I just okay, don't be playing this lady.
Man.
But I be saying it and joking, but I know people gonna look at him just like men look at me. So I mean, it is what it is, because
Right. And well, listen, I really do appreciate this.
That's
right, exactly. And when it comes down to it, ultimately, the final evaluation I have of this little conversation we had is women just crazy.
You know what, Diesel? You don't have my buttons.
But we love crazy.
We love crazy.
Why you calling us crazy, Diesel?
Because the main reason is because women are fascinated with. I'm speaking in general terms. Women are fascinated with a man that's in a uniform, a man that has some kind of power or something like that.
That's true.
But what they don't think about is what comes with that.
Exactly. I said
right. Because even with me, right, I can tell you right now, I've had women that have approached me after being the chief of a police department, knowing they can't keep their ass out of a club.
Right.
Knowing they can't keep their ass out the streets. Mm-hmm. Right. And then when they get with me and I start saying, or if I was to get with that woman and I start saying, hey, yo, you got to stop this, I'm being controlling.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it just comes with the territory.
I agree. Like I said earlier, women, they like shiny things, but they don't know how to maintain the shiny things that they like. Mm-hmm. When you're dealing with a man that's, in law enforcement, that's in politics, any man of any type of high position, you have to be a certain type of woman. You have to talk a certain way. You have to act a certain way. You dress a certain way. Some places you can't go, and some places you should not go.
You got to speak a certain way. I mean, just speaking. Mm-hmm. You can't get pulled over by a fellow police officer, even if we don't work for the same police department. You get pulled over by a fellow police department and call yourself cussing them out, and then saying you're married to the police chief. What? Where does that happen? I'll give my kids a pass because my kids didn't choose to be my kids, right? But you did choose to be my woman.
Right. And you don't
Right,
have
so-
a woman should have a potty mouth anyway. I think that's very
Well,
disrespectful.
I'm not necessarily saying a potty
You're
mouth,
going
but the
off
ones,
and being
why did you stop
all
me? You didn't have no reason to stop me. I wasn't speeding. I-
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. Like, yo, that
you
is
can't
not.
do that.
We do not need that.
Especially
Right.
when they say, I know the
You-
chief of police.
please
Like,
do
who
not
told you to
marry
release
a
that
woman
information?
chick, or those type women.
I've told my guys, anybody try to drop my name, give them a ticket. We can find out if they know me later. I told all of them, give them a ticket, and we can find out if they know me later. Because I don't play that, especially when you know you wrong and the only reason you're doing it. Now, I've had people drop my name after they get the ticket. You know what I'm saying? The officer feels bad about it, comes to me and says, hey, man, I didn't know this is now. I'm like, yo, hey, listen. Yep, that's what they deserve. Like, they shouldn't be doing it, whatever they did. You know what I'm saying? So that's neither here nor there. But just to drop my name to get out of a ticket, give them a ticket.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I agree.
Red Lipstick Vibes, I really appreciate you. Christopher J, I really do appreciate y'all, man. If y'all want to stick around for this next topic, man, you can. That ain't no problem. I have no problem with it.
I would love.
Are we about to do
I would really like. Actually, real quick, because I still got like maybe 15 minutes. Can you tell me what JP did, and I can react to that, if it's possible?
We can go there now if you want to.
Yeah,
haven't he done?
Right.
Yeah, let me see what he says, because like I tell people, JP is an intelligent brother. Behind all of that Milwaukee-ness or JP-ness, there is an intelligent brother in there. So maybe he says, I gotta give him the benefit of the doubt that he might have said something that's worth talking about. Or I give him credit. I know it's a stretch. I understand. Fully understand.
Look at these are like, nope.
I know.
He's like, nope, not this time.
Because I was just about to hit the drop button, bro. I was just about to hit the drop.
Oh my god!
Listen,
he almost gave Hank a heart attack on the club this morning.
I want people to understand something, all right? Because I don't beef with nobody. Y'all know this. I might have my jokes and everything, but once you start getting mad, I step back and I get quiet because I don't beef with nobody. All this meeting up stuff, this and that, I think it's stupid, right? All that. And a lot of people are quick to say, why don't you come and meet me? Because they feel like that's going to make them win the fight. Mm-hmm. I don't get down like that.
Right.
Jay Prince is a person that I really had a lot of love for. I really did. But then he started saying these things, and it's like anybody that you have love for, we'll get to it, but I'm just gonna say this: anybody that you have love for, speaking in a general sense for that person to get hurt, I just can't get down with, right? Especially being as much of a hypocrite as he is. He is a big hypocrite.
I got on him about being that.
And one of the things that I was going to bring up in this video, he says more black men should be fighting the police. And I think that is the most hypocritical thing he could say. This man has been arrested over 30 times and has not once fought the police.
Oh my God.
But you want to preach fighting the police, and I just cannot get down with that. So let's get into the video. I don't have the timestamps. I don't have my book.
You ever get that feeling you spoke too soon, spoke too highly on somebody?
You said what?
You ever get that feeling you spoke too highly on somebody?
Right. Yeah. So this is why I was about to drop you. So this is where it started off. He showed this video right here. And this is that teen that is fighting that police officer in the subway, right? So somebody actively fighting is not going to get treated like this by somebody that's not taking it easy on him, right? He's taking it easy on his kid, right? Because once you start fighting, it is a fight, right? Mm-hmm. So let me find. I'm trying to
see right there. When we coached him, he's an athlete. Okay, when it comes to me and my house, my sons, them already know better. They never gotten in any type of trouble like that whatsoever, not even close. But first, just take that into account.
Do you just became that way?
Resisting arrest, to say the least.
I'm fast forwarding.
I think the young man was wrong. Do y'all think the young man was wrong? I completely don't think so. I don't think so. I think he did exactly what he's supposed to do. That cop is nothing but another man. Just because you are law enforcement, that don't give you no right to just walk up to somebody and feel like you can fight them and expect for them not to hit you back or fight you back. But the problem is this boy gonna get at least 5 years in prison for fighting law enforcement. And I believe I just believe that's stupid. Just hear me out, $5 ball. Lesson 1: don't swing at a cop. It's never going to end well. But here's the thing with that. Just hear me out. That cop was swinging at him, and just because you are law enforcement,
so what he fails to say is who swung
Don't
first.
do drugs.
Right. That's the first thing he fails. Yeah, the cop was swinging at him after he got swung on. What do you expect him to do?
Have a burn and a smile and take the licks? Fuck out of here.
That don't mean we should tolerate abuse from you. And I believe that we've been taught that lie.
We tolerate a what?
As men, that we
don't worry about it.
Don't.
It's best that we don't even go back through that. All right, let's just move on.
Since they are law enforcement, they got the right. They got permission to put their hands on us. No. Hitman Jay said nobody got deleted. And what you know what's so crazy about that? What Hit Me just said? A lot of people think since that cop didn't delete that young boy or shoot him, they think he a good cop. We have got so used to cops deleting us black boys and stuff or black men to the point where if they don't and they do their job correctly by not shooting and deleting us, we think they automatically a good cop. That don't make him a good cop because he didn't shoot him. What made that boy feel the need to swing back at him? Just hear me out, exactly, JP. He's going to get prison, not the cop. And I believe that's that law. That's another law that we have to work to change.
So a lot of people think I'm thinking about. A lot of people say this when I say Jay Prince, the Rap A Lot Records Jay Prince. No, Jay Prince for President is another guy on here on YouTube.
I used to make that same mistake. I was like, man, y'all heard what Jay Prince said? He said that. I was like, what you want me to do? You want me to go say that to him?
Right.
No. I actually know people that know Jay Prince. I'm not that stupid.
Right.
But when they tell me who it is, I was like, okay, now I can go in on this person. All right. I can do this with confidence. Not knowing that I ain't gonna get a mysterious phone call or text message.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to find a spot where he says that more black men need to be fighting the police.
And it's crazy. They constantly want us black men. Like they charging black men because they want to have leverage over us. And they want us to respect law enforcement, but law enforcement not respecting the people. Law enforcement not respecting the people. So you can't sit up here and expect, let me drop this link too. You can't continue to sit up here and expect black men just to tolerate shit. Where's the accountability for the cop? I'm sorry, y'all. If a cop coming at me swinging, I'm doing exactly what that young man done did.
See, here's the problem with JP.
But that's not what happened, right?
Of course not. Of course not. But here's the thing. All Jay Prince saw was the second that somebody hit record. You didn't see what happened 5 minutes before, 10 minutes before, 15 minutes before. This is called context. to the situation of what happened. Now, the police officer knows what happened because he has a body camera and it's either recorded or on standby. Mine is usually on standby, where I have the first 15 or maybe 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
Already pre-recorded. All I gotta do is hit the button and I'm good. See, you're missing the context of what led to that situation. I'm not making an excuse for anybody. It's just like just a simple common sense. And like I said, the guy, number one, this is resisting arrest, if anything. Number two, it's clear, just like this person recorded the film, recorded to see what the police officer was doing. It also showed what you was doing. You were swinging at the police officer. Nobody's going to swing on me, and everything's going to be cool. I'll tell you one situation. We had this one guy. He was a what we call a different security company, different tag code. So let me not even open that door. He was a mental case, or whatever the case may be. So I, of course, called it in, whatever the situation. And he was going off, whatever the case may be. It's real simple. Here's my policy. Say what you want about me, just don't touch me. Because legally, I can defend myself. Needless to say that while I was trying to record him for my dispatch team so they could notify police officer, he slapped my phone out of my hand, hit in my hand. Next thing I know, but he didn't get that far down the road before I grabbed him, put him on the ground, and held him for the police to come pick him up. See, anybody driving by, they're just going to see me wrestling the guy to the ground. Before then, and my body cam was on, you're going to see beforehand, this is what led to this. I already called it in. I already did my paperwork and all this other stuff. So context is already there. Witnesses is already there. When you hit play, just know something happened before that. That's why
this is the problem with that, though, Chris.
Go ahead.
This is the problem with that when it comes down to it. Law enforcement can't just show you everything.
And they're not supposed to, right?
Right. So people are going to go off of what they're seeing. Mm-hmm. That's the problem. If they don't see the whole thing and they just see that last 15 seconds of a police officer knocking somebody out, and because it's happened to me, right? I was working off duty at a situation. Y'all know I ain't no skinny dude, right? I eat my Wheaties. A drunk dude came up to me trying to fight. I got in between him and the guy he was trying to fight. Mm-hmm. I put my arm up and he slapped my arm back. And my only reaction was to pick him up and throw him.
Right.
That was the only thing that was recorded. Right. The next day I had a whole bunch of people saying use of force this and he took it too far. The thing about it is I picked him up and I threw him and he got up. He looked at me, turned around and walked away. There was nothing else that happened after that, right?
Right.
I met force with force. I felt like I met force with force, right?
Yeah,
you put your hands on me. I'm gonna make you rethink putting your hands on me again. I'm sorry. I'm going to do something to make you rethink that, right? So I got cleared of it and all that stuff, but there was an uproar because they felt like that me picking him up and throwing him was way over what I should have done, when you can clearly see, and his hand came very close to my face. You can clearly see him slapping me away, and it was a loud ass slap too. And I mean, he hit me in my forearm. It kind of hurt a little bit, but it wasn't like that. So that's where we're at when it comes to this kind of stuff, you know. And then you have somebody like Jay Prince that sit here and make comments of we need to start fighting the police, and that is the biggest problem I have with Jay Prince. If you love black people that much, why do you want them to get deleted?
Right, exactly.
That's my point.
Yeah,
my point. So let's listen a little bit more.
Yeah.
Black men don't respect themselves, JP. It don't matter if we don't respect ourselves or not. That don't give anybody else permission to feel like they can put their hands on us. What's up, Rilla? Oh shit, I want to hear what Willie have to say.
Nah, you don't want to hear what I gotta say, man. I'm an oofy goofy L7 beta simp host, man. I ain't got nothing to say, man. JP, man.
Yep.
Let me ask you this, bro. Because you done been through it all, man. You done seen it all, you done done it all.
Literally.
Okay.
Shout out to the real Pookie.
Man, shout out to the real motherfucking Pookie, G.
That man be holding it down. Shout out to the real Pookie.
Hey man, I hope real Pookie, bro. I learned so much about you.
I just
In your life,
want y'all to hear him.
Do you really think it's because some of what we say is from you got too much to lose to square? What's sad is I was on that wheel. Yeah, I know. Our age fed up and that their line.
Well, I won't say nothing, but that applies to anybody that square up with you and pump you in your mouth. So that means anybody that can pop you in your mouth, everybody's punching bag. We all cousin popping.
We do. And I go and out there and
hold on, DJ, because I gotta get ready. I gotta get ready to head out. I'm gonna take you at your word. JP said something that's stupid because I heard her say things far more egregious than that. At the end of the day, come the fuck home. Live to tell the story. That way, once I get your side of the story, let me call my lawyer. Let me call Internal Affairs. I'm not calling the sergeant. I'm not calling lieutenant. All respect to Diesel. I'm not calling Diesel. I'm going to Internal Affairs. I'm gonna tell you this is what happened to me or my son or my loved ones. Right. We're gonna go through this right process. My lawyer is right here. You're right here. If this escalates any further, a news report is going to be right here. Let's handle this in-house. That's how a sane citizen handles situation. I understand Jay Prince has a different experience than all of us. That's
no, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. No, see,
I ain't been to jail 37 times, brother.
So hold on. So this is the thing that really bothers me about Jay Prince. His experience is totally different than the narrative that he puts out there. Mm-hmm. Because his narrative is that black men are getting deleted by police officers every day, all the time. Right. But you have a man that's been arrested 32 times and has yet to be even assaulted by an officer.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm saying. He's not living anything different from.
Like I get the narrative. Those with this skin tone, we don't control the narrative. So I understand that is out there. Statistically, it's a different story.
It is.
Be happy you're this than lighter complexion, aka white people.
White men get deleted. Two times more than black men?
Yes, 100%. Like you can go by the numbers because we're 15% of the population compared to them being 60 or whatever the case would be. Now they're saying there's a rate of black people dying more than white people. That may be true. Given that, I understand the rate and whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, JP, you and people like you have the right to complain. That's your right. You have the right to do whatever.
No, we ain't giving them that right.
But what I'm saying is you're alive to tell your story 32 times.
This is my thing about that whole statistics thing, right? Mm. Black people make up 15%. Right. I would say 17% of the population.
Okay.
They commit 60% of the crimes, but they're still getting deleted less. How does that make sense?
Right. Yeah.
If law enforcement was out deleting black men, I could see why the numbers would be less because of the population. But if you're still committing 60% of the crimes, your numbers should be more because you're seeing the police a lot more. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Right, like kill ratio, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Your KD. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make any sense
because it's put out in the media.
Right.
More.
Yes,
so it's visible more, and now everybody's showing it on social media. You know, everybody in the hood got their cell phone out, something happening. Make sure you get that footage. You know what I mean? So it's out there more, so then it seems like it is more, but it's not.
We don't control our narrative. And I guess, and I will say this, that's black men's fault. We don't control the narratives. And because of that, we are allowed to let certain stories go out there, certain falsehoods be out there. We didn't care because black men, we go to work, we do our job, we come home, we take our kids. The end. I'll admit, 2020, we all sat down, we just like, you know what? No, we can't do this no more. I'm in charge of my own narrative.
But you know why that is though, Chris?
Yeah, we let too many
people pay the Victim Olympics.
Right.
We let them
And
play
it's a
the
better
victim
story.
Olympics.
It's a better story.
And it's a better story, and it gets you out of a lot of stuff because you got a lot of cowards out there, right? You got a lot of cowardice law enforcement that don't want to be called racist because they're white.
Right.
The word alone scares them.
Right.
I hope I don't have an officer that word scares them. I want them to be called racist. Let me tell you, I had a situation, right? My town is 70% black. It's actually 77% black. I'm just going to say 70% black, right? I had a resident come to me and say, one of my white officers, she feels like one of my white officers pulled over because she was black. And I said, ma'am, do you know what the percentage of this officer pulling a black person over is?
Extremely high.
70%.
Right.
Why would you say that?
Yeah.
Like what make you say that? Well, because of the car I'm driving. Ma'am, that just makes no sense at all. And it's the victim Olympics. They want to get out of. Crazy thing about it, the officer didn't even write her a ticket. He just told her that her registration plate, her 30-day tag, looked suspicious, and he just wanted to make sure it was registered and not stolen, right? Because we get a lot of stolen cars, right? We've had an influx, we've had a big influx of stolen cars. So he was just making sure the car wasn't stolen and the car was registered, and let her go. And she still complained that she got pulled over because she was black. Like 70%.
There's always
you got to
gonna be
run
those.
with that narrative.
No, if he was
those.
listen, if he pulled over 10 people and all of them were white, I'll be looking at him like, bro, what you doing? Are you scared to pull over black people? I'll be thinking he was scared to pull over black people. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you doing? So this is what I'm saying. Like I wish we could get out of that whole officers being scared of being called racist. I've actually worked with an officer that was scared of being called a racist, right? There was a situation where they put him on Facebook and said they gave his name and who he worked for and all, and said he was racist, and he was tore up about it.
Oh wow.
And I told him, I said, bro, you acting like you really racist. You are that tore up about it. I'm starting to think you really racist. Knowing that he's not, you know what I'm saying? I didn't have a bone in my body to think that he was, but the fact of the matter is that once we get on the defensive of trying to defend something that is not true or defend ourselves against something that is not true, especially when you're talking about law enforcement, we've lost the battle. Right. Now that people know that they can use something to try to get out of a ticket or something like that.
Yeah, that's what I was about.
Yeah,
once they know they have that little nugget to use, yeah,
it's over.
Once I hear a story, I'll just roll my eyes, be like, right on.
Right.
I was like, I'm thank you for telling me you're that stupid to believe this, but we're right on. But let me get out of here. Diesel, thank you for having me. It was a pleasure to finally meet
Christopher, you. Before you go, can I ask you guys a question?
Yes.
How do you guys deal when you hear? Because I hear a lot of times, especially on one person's podcast. I can't say it. I don't want to say his name. Podcast. Well, what he always say like he hates. Like I hear a lot of them say they hate the police. How do you guys deal with that? When people keep saying, "Well, I hate the police anyway. The police is this, police is that," and not knowing that all police officers are not bad. All of them are not out there just to.
I'll let you go first, Chris. Since you
know what
gotta
I
go.
mean? What you guys think about it?
Real quick, you're entitled to feel however you want to feel. Just as long as you're a law-abiding citizen, you can say what you want to say. I don't care. I really don't. Am I law enforcement? No, but I do have a lot of support for law enforcement because someone tried to break in this house after I handled the situation. Guess what I'm calling? Law enforcement.
Right.
So I understand people had their own experience, but you just gotta come out of that shell and realize what the real world is. You're gonna come across a lot more good police officers than bad police officers. But like I said, you're entitled to say whatever you want to say. Like back to JP. JP is entitled to say what you want to say, feel how you want to feel. As long as you're a law-abiding citizen, it doesn't matter. And also your words have meaning. If you can't back up what you're saying is useless. It's meaningless. It's gonna fall on deaf ears. So yeah, that's all I'm saying about it. I support the police.
Yeah.
So this is how I feel about those kind of statements.
Later,
be good, Chris. I appreciate you, bro.
All right, man.
So when it comes to those kind of statements, I look at it as childish, right? because usually the people that are saying that are the people that want to break the law. So I look at them as a little child saying, I hate my mommy because they didn't let me have a lollipop or they didn't let me go outside or something like that. You know what I'm saying? That's what it equates to me. It's one of those things where you need to grow up. You have rules that you have to abide by. And because those rules are being enforced and you can't do what you want to do, now you hate that person. Because anybody that says they hate somebody based on what they do, they're idiots. Period. They're just an idiot because you don't know that person, right? Like you said, there are a lot of good cops out there and a lot of bad cops out there. And I would even go far as saying there are a lot of criminals out there that are good people, right? They just have they put themselves in a situation where they feel like they have to do something that might be breaking the law to feed their family or something like that, right? So I don't ever put myself in a situation and say, I just hate a person that does this. Now I can't stand a thief. I can't stand a thief, right? But that's because of what they're doing, right? That and that's all it comes down to. A thief is somebody that is not truthful or anything like that. And I know podcasts will argue, well, police are doing something too, and you know police aren't truthful and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? When we all know that's not exactly true. There are some cops out there that lie.
Yeah. I think a lot of times, people have one bad experience with a cop, and then they just have this bad taste in their mouth for all. So it's like,
and see, the thing is, we have to look at also what brought on that bad experience.
Right. Where's your?
It's your actions.
Right. Exactly. Like
9 times out of the 10. It's something that you did to make you have a bad experience. Because I'll tell you right now, Jay Prince has had 32 of them. And the only bad experience he can come up with is when somebody set him up, right? Police thought he was still in the car and they pulled their guns on him. That's it. He didn't get hurt. He didn't get beat up or nothing like that. It's just
so he got traumatized.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the only bad experience he has had that he has told anybody in these YouTube streets. He says it on his channel all the time. He tells that situation all the time. But it really bothers me that you have somebody that's out here preaching this. We need to start doing this. We need to start doing it, and has never done it ever in their life. I could respect Jay Prince a lot more if he's actually ever done it, but he hasn't. Right.
I mean, I have a rest in peace to my older brother. He was out there. And he actually used to fight the police. But he lost every time. Like his shoulder was dislocated several times, on broken arms, because he was one of those feisty ones, like fight the police.
And I just don't understand it.
It never ends up, good when you.
I don't understand it. I don't understand it at all. So I just wanted to bring that up, and I was going to talk about it later, but I'm glad we talked about it before Chris could go, because like I said, he can do a better review. I wasn't planning on having that about JP on here. But it came because Chris showed up and I wanted to show him what's going on. But yeah, man, that's just I just can't get down with that, man. Hey guys, the panel is open. If anybody wants to come up and talk about something, you can come up and talk about something. Join me and Red Lips about. I don't know how long you're gonna be here.
I mean, I got a question. A question came through on Instagram.
Go ahead.
One of my friends are watching.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
She being messy. So she says, how do you deal with if your woman is accusing you of cheating on the job?
All right, hold on. Stop the presses.
I have a WWE intro on Diesel channel. How you guys doing?
Daddy, what's going on, man?
I read lipstick. I'm Mr. Officer. Officer, I'm the law. How you guys doing?
Good, man. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm sorry for the delay. If you listen to anything, it's because like the soccer team on my country and my city won the national championship.
I know it's a big celebration going on there.
Oh
Yeah,
mindset.
yeah, yeah. So they are just doing noise for no reason. Are you guys? Oh, how was your weekend, guys? Everything
good.
good?
It's good. Very good. Very good. Very good.
Yeah.
How you doing, man? I know you've been putting a lot of time in the YouTube streets, boy.
Uh-huh.
This was my first weekend that I actually had like time to relax, and it actually feels right for the first time in a while.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. YouTube is trying to play me. I don't know what's going on because
Hey.
now on the last month they didn't pay me because I didn't get it in time. Now they're going to pay me, but because I'm a foreign citizen, other than the 30%, they want to take 10 more. So I don't know about that.
Oh
I need
no.
to
Wow.
go.
Hey
I
man,
need
I
to
told
go
you,
around.
YouTube, man, they on some other man. That's why I couldn't do it full
Yeah.
time, bro. Because they on some other. This had to be a hobby. After I found out, after my first 6 months, and I found out how they could just change rules and then take all the videos that you ever did before those rules and demonetize them and all that. I was like, nah, bro, I can't do this.
Yeah,
It can't be a full. This can't be a part
Not
time
be a
job for me.
full-time thing.
I need to understand if there's a way I cannot be double taxed, because if they take 30, then on the payment day they take more 10. Then I have to pay taxes to my country, which is more 20. By the end of the day, what I have 40 something.
Yeah, that
Like,
ain't good.
come on, man.
Yeah, that
Come
ain't
on,
That's
YouTube.
why angry man be like, hit the cash out, support the shout.
Yeah.
So, so Red Lipstick, I will come back to that question in just a minute. You got some time?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, I will come back to your question in just a minute. But you know, my boy Fatty here knows Jay Prince for president very well.
Yes, I
Okay.
know.
I don't know if you want to get into it because I know what the situation is.
It's fine, Diesel. Like,
Okay. So, do you understand where I'm coming from when I talk about JP?
I absolutely do. And the thing is, I would respect him if he had a defined stance. The thing is, like, just 10 days ago, he was saying, don't fight the government, guys. He's worthless. They are going to win anyways. So let me see if I get this right. You understand that the government is so powerful that by the end of the day, there's no need for us to fight him because you will never win. But you think that if you try to fight a cop, like, all of that cop department for the next year is not going to be in front of your house. Like, what is, like, you're going to get them all?
It makes
like,
no sense.
It makes no sense. It's just, I don't respect people that have afterthoughts. They have opinions. They never know how they got there. They get a conclusion, but they can't explain you how they got there. And if they try to explain you how they got there, it's going to contradict something that they said before. Right? I have no type of respect. Yesterday we were on Aaron's show and he was asking me, why do you guys always try to debate and go at black men opinions? Because that's called critical debate. Me, you, and Red Lipstick go at each other. We figure out what we think about it, and then after we get into a conclusion so we can become a little bit better and our opinions can evolve. He didn't understand that concept, so I don't know.
And see, this is the thing. You know, I how would people react if I were to say, as a police officer, right? All police officers need to delete all the pookies.
Oh, can you guys hear me? Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, you'll be absolutely fired.
And he would feel some type of way about that, right?
Absolutely.
So I feel like I have a right to feel some type of way about what he's saying about people fighting the police, because the potential of somebody fighting me is already high. Right. And then you have him saying that we should be doing it. I feel some type of way. So that's why I say, that's why I can't really, I'm not going to say I don't like Jay Prince, but I can't deal with Jay Prince because of that stance that he has. Some of these stances that he has when it comes to law enforcement, I just can't deal with it because
it shows he doesn't care about your
exactly
well-being.
For him to
like,
say he cares about me,
he's literally incentivizing people to do you dirty through because this is like a abstract idea that will punish people on the ground, and he kind of doesn't understand it because he doesn't see it in front of him, right? So
right.
Hey man, if you don't care for my well-being,
and I think a lot of times with a lot of, not just with JP, but a lot of people on these panels, they're talking, but they haven't really thought out. It's not a real thought out concept. Right. You know, it's just, I'm just just going with the flow and just saying anything and not realizing the consequences of what they're about to say. Or some people just say what sounds good to the audience that they're trying to appease. So I think sometimes that can get, misconstrued on panels and things when we're talking about different topics. So,
but you have all the right to feel some type of way. Again, if you like, it's the same thing. Like, oh, why you guys are supporting a foreigner? Why you guys letting a foreigner do this and that? I have all the right to feel some type of way. I have all the right to feel some type of way because again, it means that you, just because you had an experience with me, now you are taking it to everybody that is around it and that is going to catch a stray for some reason. Does that include JB, for example, someone that helped you a lot and came from a foreign country? Does that mean that you now, that I will guarantee you, if Jessica X went on his shit, he would be so happy. And this from the United Kingdom. But that's the thing. He's the inconsistent. He's going to tell you something and he's going to turn around and he's going to change his mind because he felt another way. So, hey, just have to go with the flow one day at a time and see if his daughter Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, Hulk, Dr. Banner.
I can't get down with that flow. I gotta leave. I gotta step back from that brother there. You know what I'm saying? I just gotta step back, take a little step back, which he probably doesn't care because of the profession that I do. But I really did have Jay Prince's best interest at heart, right? I tried to counsel him on some decisions that he was making and things of that sort when we would talk in the back and stuff like that. And it was like, I kind of cared about the dude because he doesn't have a bad personality. It's just his way of thinking is just off. It's just so off, So it is what it is.
It can be childish sometimes. like this morning on Fight Club, he was like, all women are whores. I was like, what?
But
he was like, they were born whores. I was like, they come out the womb whores? What's going on?
but that's the thing. Like,
but he don't want nobody saying that about his girls, though. Yeah, that's what I don't understand.
And the thing is, 2 months ago, we were talking about him and he was saying, guys, stop talking shit about women. You are shaming them. They are healers, not whores. Like, now he reverts again. Like, he eats so up and down. So I feel this way. So I'm going, red lipstick. You treat me wrong. All women suck. Fuck them. And then you treat me good on the next day. Guys, Diesel, stop calling them whores, Diesel. They are healers. It's all about emotions. It's all about feelings. Nothing about logical understanding of what's going on. So, hey, today girls are whores. Tomorrow they are going to be healers. And this is the J. Prince roulette. You never know if you're going to get the one that is, I hate women, I want to win them. Or the one that says, oh, I'm the feminist J. Prince. Oh my God, guys, how dare you do this to them?
Right. All right, guys. So we are going to stop talking about JP. We're going to stop talking about him. We're going to move over to the ATF and this FRT trigger thing. I don't know if you guys know what an FRT trigger is. It's called FRT because it's a force reset trigger, right? So what it does is kind of like a binary trigger, but it just forces the reset to where you can hold it down at the right pressure and it will continue to fire, right? ATF has allowed it to be sold for a little while and then they deemed it they deemed it a fully automatic weapon. So now they're trying to confiscate these FRT triggers. Well, I found a video of a person that owns an FRT trigger and the ATF coming to that person and asking them about their FRT trigger, right? So what I wanted to do is do a reaction because I tell people this all the time and I'm not scared to say it. I know in law enforcement, a lot of people in law enforcement, they wish I wouldn't tell people this, but don't talk to the police without a lawyer. Like if you know you done broke a crime, done something, do not talk to the police without a lawyer. Now, me being the
right
police,
to remain silent.
Right. Take that right. Now, me being the police, I'm gonna try to get you to talk. You know what I'm saying? Now, I've learned ways of doing it, and I've kind of perfected the art of seeing if somebody's telling me the truth or not. I mean, that's one of those things. I know Red Lipstick Vibes, you hate that because us cops, we can tell when somebody's lying to us, right? So my girls, they cannot stand it. My girls cannot stand it. They hate when I bring them in there, sit them down on the bed,
Indeed.
and start asking questions. They can't stand it.
Can't hide nothing. Not
Can't
even
hide
Amazon
nothing.
boxes.
No, we already know. We know a lot before we even ask the first question. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So, like I said, I want to do a quick reaction on this. This video is 4
That's
minutes
another thing,
long.
ladies. Be careful when you get involved with law enforcement. They know everything.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Can't
I
hide
caught
the Amazon boxes. They
Listen,
already know.
you don't know how many females I've had to go ahead and give me a story before I knew everything. They just gave it to me because I knew too much, right? And my thing about it is just don't lie to me. And
Right.
people lie all the time about the small. I don't understand why people lie so much about the smallest stuff. I've just gotten to the point now where I don't even address the lie that's very small. I just know you lied. You know what I'm saying? So I don't even address it no more.
Yeah.
But like I said, we're gonna talk about this real quick. Let me bring it up. Here we go. All right.
Moonlight Industries.
Okay.
Oh, really?
So we make like low visibility.
Oh, really?
We specialize in like right now we have a contract with SEAL Team 6 actually.
Okay.
We make their like low visibility MP7 rigs.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. That's
Okay,
awesome.
cool. So were you expecting us?
Well, what didn't surprise me when I saw a guy in a plate carrier showing up. So
Well,
got the
we're
Ultima
obviously-
OTBs on. So.
Yeah, no. So the reason why we're here is because I don't know. I'm sure you're aware that just recently the ATF classified the FRTs, the force.
Sure.
All right, first let me start off by saying this guy right here, he looks like he's a task force officer. He doesn't really look like he's actual ATF. ATF, they usually show up with this kind of stuff that really doesn't fit the criteria of tactical vest. They use the inner vest as an outer vest, and you know, she got the capri. It just doesn't look like she's local law enforcement. Now, this guy right here, he looks like he's local law enforcement, part of a CERT team or something like that, maybe a specialized squad or something like that. But initially, when they show up, this is how I feel about it. If ATF shows up at your house and they're not arresting you, I'm not telling them what I do, how I do it. Now, me, I might tell them I'm a police officer because I might have a gun on me. I might tell them I'm a police officer, you know, I'm a chief or whatever. And that's probably as far as I'm going. I'm not going to go any further than that, right? But he's giving the whole spiel about everything that he does. And I just feel like you're getting to the point where you're talking a lot.
Yeah.
Reset triggers as machine guns.
Yeah.
So we are aware that you may have purchased some of these FRTs.
Okay.
So now we are having like the whole agency is basically reaching out to these purchasers,
That's incredible. Yeah.
and we have to pick them up. You know, they're
Okay.
illegal.
So I won't be answering any questions today. I don't have any comments on this subject. I won't be giving you anything.
Okay, so
All right. So I think he did right.
Right,
He
right. I
told
was
them-
about to say that. Yeah.
He told him he's not going to answer any questions on this subject.
Mhm.
So if you don't know, police have a way of listening very well. Because if that was me, I say, well, if you're not going to answer any questions on this subject, let's go ahead and go to another subject that you might be willing to answer questions on. And then I can bring this subject back in and trick you into answering questions about that subject, right? Apparently this guy is not under arrest. They have not written Miranda or anything like that. He's not, he's free to go if he wants to. They don't have arrest warrants on him. So he could technically walk away and nothing could be done, right? So let's listen a little bit further.
Are you refusing to give us the trigger?
I'm not refusing anything. I won't be answering any questions.
okay. But okay, so we are aware that you did purchase FRTs. Again, you wouldn't be in trouble if you just gave those up to us, or
Okay.
if you sold them, you can tell me you sold them.
Sure.
You know,
Okay.
and you're not going to be in trouble for that.
I understand.
So we're just here, honestly, like just to pick them up.
Sure. Sure. It's a
So let me tell you this. I'm gonna tell you this, okay?
This is going to end bad, huh?
No,
Oh, okay.
You know what? I don't know what the ending is. I don't know exactly what the ending is.
Okay.
But we'll see that, he did just walk away eventually. But I'm trying to give people an understanding of how things work kind of with the federal government and with local law enforcement. So it is arguable, if that's a word, that the fact that they said, we know you purchased FRT triggers, are you not willing to give them up? And he said, I'm not willing to answer that question. Now, the reason why she made the comment to say, if you sold them, we will chop that up as you selling them and you will not be in trouble for that, is because she could possibly go get a search warrant to show that he was in possession of them, and to make sure he's not in possession of them, she's going to do a search warrant, right? So I think that's why she asked that question. That's why, guys, you got to be very careful.
It's a bigger conversation than what you're having right now. You decide as you go the rules, right?
Again, that's not something I decide.
It's not. I know you guys are just here. You guys are just here.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you at all.
I understand.
I don't want to be here anymore than you want me to
Sure.
be here.
Well, the problem is you are the people who go and knock on the doors, right? So when they make new laws and you break them, or you go against the citizens, because they've spoken what they buy and what they do, the citizens are speaking, but the government is making their decisions on what they think. They're not being servants to the citizens, right?
So how many of y'all think he's talking too much?
Yeah, like, what are you talking about? And like, dude, what's going on right now?
Like, everything that you say can and will be held against you.
Exactly. Oh my God.
You are showing them right now that you are not willing to follow the rule that they made. Go ahead, Fatty.
I think he's flexing, right? Because he knows the first part about don't talk. Like, he got it the first time. I'm not going to tell you nothing unless my lawyer is here. But then when he saw them, like, kind of and they became a little bit hesitant, now he put his foot forward and now he's trying to flex on them, telling, I will do, and I will do. No, just be quiet. You got
it. But see, and see, that's the thing about it is I know what he's doing. I know he's very passionate about the Second Amendment and wanting to let them know that they're doing wrong. But I'm gonna tell you right now, this guy right here, he don't want to be there. I can tell by his body.
Yeah, he said that he don't want to be here.
He don't want to be there. Now, this other female, she got a clipboard in her hand. She, she's ready to talk and all that. She's wanting to go back and say she confiscated some FRTs because that's what they're supposed to be doing. That's exactly what she looked like. But him, I don't think he really wants to be there.
I'm like, I don't want to be here.
You know what I'm saying? So I get that he's very passionate about 2A. I get that. But don't use your passion to get you in trouble, because potentially they could have used something that he said against him to get a search warrant or something like that. Now, is he still on their radar? I would say yes. If he was on their radar initially and he never gave him anything, yes, he's probably still on their radar. You know what I'm saying? Let's listen a little bit more.
All we're saying is, we, like you said, we just hear, we are the ones that just come and knock on the door. We just enforce the laws. We don't make the laws. So
I understand.
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like I said, you're not in trouble. I mean,
no, and I understand that. No, I didn't do anything wrong. Exactly. That's I love good law-abiding cops who are good people, are doing what they do, and I understand you have families to feed. You're just doing what you're told, so you don't get fired from your job. But there is a problem that exists, and at some point you have to make your decision on which side of the team you're on. So I won't be answering any questions. If I'm not being detained, I'm not under arrest, I'll just be leaving now. Okay. I won't be able to help you with what you're trying to find.
So, and just to be clear, so then now you know that if you were to be in possession of these FRGs, then you would be basically breaking the law.
The ATF claims that they're making rules, but there's been no vote. There's been no congressional hearing that says you have the.
See, talking too much.
Wow. Yeah,
talking way too much.
Yeah,
right. I'm gonna go ahead and let this finish, and then we're gonna talk about it some more.
Law. You don't make law, right?
I don't.
Yeah, the ATF doesn't make law.
Again,
No.
Again, but it's,
I don't want. Listen, right now I seem like a huge dick. Like I'm like fuck you guys, but I really don't feel that way at all. I just can't, in good faith, when I make the gear for every high-end special operations unit in America right now. That's all I do. That's all I do is support these freedom fighters. A lot of law enforcement SWAT guys. I can't take part in an overstep past the line that says this is or is not legal. Just because you have a badge, you can still do crimes, right?
right.
So if the American people feel like, the ATF is committing crimes right now, I can't help you. I'm sorry. I just can't.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I appreciate your time.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. So
what was he talking about? Like, he started talking about people.
yeah. So this
he
is
was
the thing.
talking way too much.
If the ATF would have showed up at his house,
Yeah.
and the first thing he said, what? First, okay, is he still on this? Is he still on this?
He's still on it.
He's still on
That's
it.
like a thorn in his side, man.
So if the ATF shows up at your house, right, and they're not saying you're under arrest or anything like that, I would advise. Now, I'm not a lawyer. I am not a lawyer. Please don't take this as legal advice or anything like that. But I'm just saying, from my perspective, what I would advise is that I do not want to talk to the ATF. If y'all need anything, you may contact my lawyer. Don't let them say anything else to you. Just walk away.
Yeah.
You don't have to sit there and listen. Like, that's not a thing. They can't force you to listen to them. They can say whatever they want to say, but they can't force you to say. When she made that comment at the end and said, well, you've been informed that if you are in possession of these FRT triggers, you are breaking the law. That could really hurt him in court. Just the fact that he sat there and listened to that.
Exactly.
If in fact he does have an FRT. You know, so this is what I'm saying, guys. You have got to be able to tell yourself, I'm walking away. Because ultimately, if they're going to arrest you or if they're going to search your house, they're going to do it regardless if you allow them to or not.
That's what I was about to ask you. Do you think they're going to come back and search?
I don't know if they have
already know
enough.
He's in possession that he purchased them.
But just you purchasing them, because I did purchase one myself. I did purchase one, but mine blew up in a gun. Like and I know a lot of people are going to look at me sideways when they say that.
Diesel.
I don't know if I have the gun here, but I actually messed up at the range. I put a 300 blackout through a 223 and it blew up, and I had my FRT in that particular gun, right? So I basically, only thing I kept was the upper, because I'm going to cut it in half and show how far that bullet stretched down the barrel. I think that'll be cool to see. You know what I'm saying? I just got to find somebody that can cut it in half. But like I said, it's one of those things that even if I purchased it, that's not enough for them to get a search warrant to come to my house. You know what I'm saying? And do a search warrant. That's not enough. That what they were trying to do, because this guy, for them to come to his house this early, he probably purchased quite a few.
Yeah.
Right.
But did you hear the stuff that he was saying at the end, that he does he makes armor or something for other people?
Right.
So that's like, I think that would be like a trigger, you know. He's going
well, I mean, I think he was just telling them exactly what he does for special forces, and he makes the outer carriers, the plates, the armored plates for armored plate carriers for special units like SEAL Team 6 and stuff like that. I know what he does. I mean, I've seen his company and whatever. But really, when it comes down to it, and Warsaw Patriot, I appreciate you coming up, man. Let me go ahead and add you to the stream. Really, when it comes down to it, like, people do not speak to him. That's it. I ain't got nothing to say to y'all. And I'm a police officer, and I'm gonna tell you that.
I think he got overconfident because of what he does and all that. He's explaining that he's a subtle form of flex. Oh, you know, I'm doing things for these freedom fighters, and like he got overconfident because, you know, okay, they're not going to do now anymore. Let me talk a little bit. But that's the thing,
right?
Confidence sometimes get you.
Sometimes get you in trouble.
Yeah, there's the confidence. There's difference between being confident and being stupid. Like, at a certain point, you need to understand that you just be quiet and you got the win. Take the win and go home. Don't stay around and say something that you are going to regret.
Yep. Warsaw, what you got to say about this situation, man?
If you have any law enforcement agency coming at your doorstep or anybody's house, if they ask you to say, "Oh, do you have this, this, and this?" I'm just going to say, lawyer.
Unless it's me, you tell me everything. We're good. We're
no, but seriously, I mean, here's the thing with anything with the firearms aspect, people got to know about laws, and there's even laws of the state. And if you don't look at those laws of the state, you could technically provincially criminate yourself in a higher court case or even federal case.
Yeah, because it sometimes, you know what, it takes a lot less to get a search warrant than to get an arrest warrant. A lot of people don't understand that. It takes a lot less to get a search warrant than it does an arrest warrant. And just some statements that you make could persuade a judge to sign off on a search warrant.
And here I also want to make another point. All right, you talk about the FRTs. Well, everybody has a paper trail to something, so it doesn't matter. It could be even with the pistol braces that we all own until we find out what the ATF's going to do about this. But everything has a paper trail. So say if I had it on my credit card, had it on my banking system, anything has a paper trail. So they have the documents, they have the addresses, they have all your email contact information. They could literally contact you if they wanted to.
Yep. And that's the thing about it that a lot of people don't understand. It's like a lot of people think just because they might have bought an FRT at a gun show or something like that, that they might not know you have one. But the fact of the matter is they're at your doorstep for a reason.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So you need to understand that. This is what I tell criminals all the time. I didn't just look in the yellow pages of a phone book and come knocking at your door, brother.
Yeah.
That's not why I'm here. I'm pretty sure you already know. If you want to talk to me, we can talk. But don't just try to beat around the bush. Like that's not what I'm here for.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I don't go knocking at a door to fish. Now, what they are doing, they are fishing. They are actually fishing for people to confess and give up some stuff, right? And I think it's probably working in some situations. A lot of situations it's probably working. But I've never been the type of person to just fish or a type of investigator to just fish for information, right? I try to get all the information I can get first, and then I make the determination if I need to go talk to this person in person or not, right? And that's what I do, you know.
So I have a question though. So say I saw this video, and that's one of the videos I have wanted to review with you guys at some point. Well, so the cops came to this these people's house. They wanted them to come outside to talk to them. So there was a cop standing at the door when the lady opened up the door, and so she was like, she don't want to talk to you. She want a lawyer, just like you said, one lawyer. And she tried to close the door, but the police officer put their foot in the door so that she wouldn't close the door. Is that wrong for the officer to do that?
Yeah. If he didn't have a reason, listen, you cannot force your way at anybody's house without a reason. Exigent circumstances is one, and a search warrant is another. You could go in there for an arrest warrant on certain situations. Right?
What about searchable cause? Is there some things like that?
No, not for a house.
Not for a house either.
Exigent circumstances is the only thing that wipes out. If you see something in plain sight,
that's what I'm saying.
You know that it will be destroyed or something like that within the time of you getting a search warrant, you can go in that house and secure it. But outside of that, you can't do it without a arrest warrant or a search warrant, period.
So when I was reading up on it, I think it was saying that the cop did that because they were waiting for the other officers to come with the search warrant.
Now, what you can do is force everybody out of the house while you wait for a search warrant. You can do that, but you cannot force your way in a house, right?
Yeah.
So I can go into the house and tell everybody to get out, but I cannot conduct any kind of search whatsoever of that house until that search warrant is actually there and I can serve it. Right.
Yeah.
Which part of serving a search warrant is you have to read out aloud what the search warrant is for.
Right.
All right. So that's part of the service of the search warrant. Until that search warrant gets in hand, I cannot force my way. If he didn't feel like he had enough to force everybody out of the house, he should have not have been keeping that door open.
Yeah, right? And she tried when she tried to close the door, then that's when they was like, "Oh, you assaulted an officer because she tried to close the door. So then that's when she like dragged her out the house.
Oh wow, really?
Oh, I'll send you the video. It's crazy. Yeah.
Send me that, man, because I want to see that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, when it comes down to it, guys, like there's no reason to have any kind of discussion. If you know you've purchased one and you might have gotten rid of it, you might keep it. I don't know. You guys do whatever you feel like you want to do. I'm not going to have an opinion on that if you keep the FRT or not. But when it comes down to it, if you know you purchased one at some time, regardless if it was on a credit card, a gun show, or whatever, and you don't think they have anything connecting you to it, you need to realize that there is something there, and don't conversate at all when it comes to these FRT.
Also, also want to point out, just because you paid it with cash doesn't mean that they have facial recognition and stuff on you.
That's what I'm saying. So that's the point that I'm trying to get to. There are other things that we use to put somebody in the premise of the area of a crime or something like that to let us know that you may be involved or may not be involved. Right? So a lot of people don't understand that. They think that when they commit a crime and nobody saw them, then if we come to the door, that we got to be there for something else. Assume that we're there for exactly what you did.
Right.
And do what you got to do to get a lawyer and have us talk to a lawyer. Because really, if I come to your house to just have a conversation, you could always say no and slam the door in my face. Ain't nothing I can do about it.
Right.
Now, if I have a warrant for your arrest, yeah, I might try to talk to you first and then say, oh, hold on. Actually, we got an arrest warrant, so you're gonna have to come with me. Right. Then we'll do it that way. Right. But if I just come to knock on your door and have a conversation and you say, I don't want to talk to you, it is what it is. We'll find another way. We have to find another way. Because anything beyond that point that I do to try to get you to talk to me is almost a violation.
Right.
You know. So.
Well, Diesel, I have to go because I have to cook my turkey wings now.
Yes, ma'am. Hey, tell King James I appreciate him. Appreciate his service. Congratulations on his promotion.
Yes.
And hopefully he'll be the chief.
Just walked in the door too. Hey, Daddy.
Hopefully, hey, pimp daddy.
How y'all doing?
All right. Hopefully King James be the chief soon. He'll know my struggle.
Yes, he needs to be because he already doing the job. But anyway, that's a whole
exactly.
conversation. See y'all later.
Be good. Appreciate you coming.
Bye.
All right, Lipsy. Bye bye. So
go ahead, Daddy.
I don't know. I think you are underestimating every time somebody gets the letter from the lawyer or the police visit them, they probably 90% of people want to say as much as they can to get themselves out of the situation, because
that's the problem.
That's the survival instinct. No, I did nothing wrong. No, it was just a misunderstanding. Yep. And then when they see, they probably shouldn't have told them nothing because there was nothing to go off. But hey, that's how we understand human nature. And the worst thing that can happen is the person remains silent, right? It's the worst thing that can happen.
No, not necessarily.
Huh?
Not necessarily. That's not the word. That's the best. The best thing for a person to remain silent.
No, I'm talking from the police standpoint.
Oh, yeah.
The worst thing that can happen is, I want to talk with my lawyer. And even if it's person don't talk with my lawyer, at least you get some kind of indication, maybe something going on here that we need to just pay attention and just to pry a little bit more. But hey, just be quiet. Just be quiet.
Right. And a lot of cops feel some type of way. They take it personal when somebody says they don't want to talk to them. They don't know how to accept the fact that person has the right not to talk to you. And they take it personal, and then they get themselves in even more trouble because they're trying to force that person to talk to me. Warsaw, I see that video, man. I don't know if I want to show that video on here.
That's fine. It's just it's pretty much where a guy literally ratted himself out for owning a full auto machine gun with the Chinese autosphere.
Yeah, I see. That's what I'm saying. I see the switch on the back of this gun, and I don't know if I want to show that or not.
The thing is, the kid literally just said, "Hey, I have a gun," because the guy pulled out a magazine. It's like, oh boy, you just criminalized yourself right there.
And you know what? Sometimes, now I will say this: when officers say your cooperation does really help you in court, it sometimes does. I mean, it really does. And I don't want to say that because, I try to be as open as I can when it comes to law enforcement, right? A lot of people don't think it does, but it really does, because we do have backdoor conversations with the DA's office. Sometimes we talk with the judge and we let them know what kind of cooperation, if you did cooperate or if you didn't, if we feel like that a lighter sentence would be good or not, you know what I'm saying? So those kind of conversations are had behind closed doors. So, you know, I know a lot of officers use that, and then the person ultimately gets the book thrown at them. But that is a thing, right? It is a thing that it does help out sometimes. So I will not say just being a total asshole is the best route to go.
Yeah, just be nice. Hey, man.
Right.
I don't know what I could tell you or not. Let me just call my lawyer and cooperate to the best of my abilities. Go ahead.
But this is what I will say. A lot of people talk so much they feel like they got to start lying, and that is the worst thing you can do in an investigation. Is lie.
Reminds me of someone.
Anyway.
No, but I've seen videos where people have actually told officers, like, hey, I got a handgun. This is my CCL, but he's still in investigation of a crime. They can't arrest you, but they have the right to detain you to investigate what the hell happened, because this was up in Wisconsin. The guy was actually, last time I checked, his buddy was actually evading the cops and going like 70, 80 miles an hour to 100. And they had took about 3 sheriffs to actually stop him, and they arrested his buddy, detained him, and they finally figured out what was going on, and he was actually all free charges. Except the guy that was actually at fault for evading the cops,
right,
jumping, and a whole bunch of other things.
Right. So yeah, so I mean, there are different situations that are. Everything is different. I want to touch on the. There was a question that Red Lipstick asked me, and I wanted to get it before she left. But she said, "What do I do if I get accused of cheating while working or something like that?" And I don't even if it comes to that point, then the relationship is pretty much over with. Especially if I haven't, if you're just basically saying that I'm cheating because I'm working a lot or something like that, then I don't even think there needs to be any further of a relationship, because if I can't go to work and you just see it as me working, you just think I'm having sex with somebody else, what are you going to think when I'm off? If I'm doing it when I'm working, what are your thoughts of what I'm doing when I'm off? If I just want to be alone, you know what I'm saying, or don't want to spend time or something like that.
It shows that the seed has been planted, and when it has been planted, it's very difficult to retrieve it, because again, either you change your job, either the person that that somebody's suspecting of changes places, but
right,
it is.
And see, the thing about it is, you know, I had a job when I became a detective where the department issued our cell phones. So with the department issuing our cell phones, if somebody wanted our phone number, it wasn't what we were paying for. It wasn't ours. They put our phone number on our cards, on our business cards, and we gave them out to people. And that's what it came down to, is that, you know, if they wanted to call us, they would call us. There was a female that was calling me all the time, trying to get me to take her out, and I wouldn't. But the female that I was seeing at the time thought there was something behind it. I can kind of understand that to a point. You know what I'm saying? But if I'm telling you there's nothing going on, then that's just what it is. Right? L.A. Wilk, what's going on, man? L.A. Wilkes is a police officer. I introduced y'all to him the other day, man.
Oh, he's
got a YouTube channel as well.
I already know he's a police officer.
Yeah, Philadelphia.
You know, Diesel, have you ever seen the video where there was a Canadian RCMP officer that got in the States, and he was under a investigation for like a whole drug gun operation here in America?
No.
Well, pretty much the RCMP officer actually got in trouble for without coming into the States without permission from the American government, because I forget what state this was, but this was like last year, I think, or a few months ago.
Mm-hmm.
And he was thinking that there's a whole bunch of criminals buying guns from the States and then smuggling them into Canada, and he didn't even get permission from the state government and the federal government from coming in across the border, and he got in serious trouble.
So he was doing an investigation in another country.
Secret investigation.
What?
Yes. There's like articles all over the news about it.
Did they arrest him, or did he?
I don't know what happened to him, but he should not have been in the States to begin without permission.
Right. That's crazy. Jesus Christ. Hey, Fatty, what you got planned for the rest of the day, bro? You going live?
No, I'm going to go 30 minutes on fantasy, probably 30 minutes on Toxic Avengers, because they are talking about something that I was involved, I guess. And then I'm go back to my anime, my manga, because man, I really needed a break.
Yes.
and,
Yes.
and now I don't know if I have strength to do a morning show tomorrow because he's feeling so good. But hey, I'm going to go.
Hey, bro, that's why I had to take almost a year off of YouTube, man. I was putting way too much time in this crap, and you know, hey, the money can be good, but
and I can complain. It's worth it, right? But that's the thing. Even on your like, you want off days to be off days, you know. For your like, people call you even when you're off and ask you for something and say, "Where is this and where is that?" It's like a school teacher. Even when you're off duty, you're always on duty. Yesterday, I jumped on Aaron, and it was a good show. But I started to talk like, man, like, am I really resting? And you are, because you're on the panel. You're not like running shit. You're not carrying the conversation. But I'm trying to figure out if me going on other people panels like I should, because if people show me love, I should show them love when I can.
Right.
If this is actually active rest or not, I still didn't understand.
It's not.
It's not.
No, it's not, because you still have to prepare to get on that show, right? Because like me, if I wanted to rest, but I wanted to get on the show, I'd have to get my computer right, I have to get my camera right, I have to get my lights right. You know, I have to make sure that I'm wearing something that is presentable to be on camera. You know, because when I chill in my drawers. You know what I'm saying? Especially when I'm at home alone.
Exactly.
So you know, it's kind of like going to work, man.
It is the ritual that is the ritual of, I need to be on camera, so I need to do such and such and such, and then that's why I'm not camed up, because I'm on my drawers and my Lakers jersey.
And you know what? You can come at any time. I don't want you on camera on draws, but you can come and cut your camera off at any time, Patty, because I don't need to see that. I'm not
the ladies are not going to watch the show just because I'm handsome. So it's totally fine.
Warsaw, what you got planned for the rest of the day, man?
Not much. Just hang out with somebody's house and probably by a bonfire and some few drinks, maybe, or eat some, ribs or something.
America.
Yep. And no, I'm not a drinker. I just drink soda.
Right. Yeah. You know what? I drank 2 beers the other day and I was so tipsy. I was like, because it's been so long. I haven't really been drinking since I got my cheese.
2 beers? What is the percentage?
They were blue moons. They were blue moons. They were like 5%.
And you
7%.
Yeah, you are out of.
Bro, I've been for a while. I've been the chief since 2021, October of 2021. And I will say probably the other day when I drank those 2 beers, it had to be at least 10 months since I drank something.
Your body was like, what the hell is going on?
Yes, it was. I was feeling, I wasn't drunk, but you could feel it in your head. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can feel it, because I don't sip on beer. I drink it. You know what I'm saying? I drink beer like it's, and it was just one of those things, man. I know my tolerance is nowhere near where it used to be, which I'm happy about, because I'm not a big drinker anyway. What I'm going to do for the rest of the day is just chill out. I might go on those panels with you if they're open panels, man, and just chop it up with y'all for a little bit.
I think they are, and even if they're not, it's like about like, oh, I know somebody inside.
Right.
Hey,
Similarly, you know what I'm saying? You said you're going to fantasies first, right?
Yeah, fantasy is going to start in like 2 or 3 minutes. It's like, because somebody went at her that is really big on our space, which is kind of interesting that she's making so much noise and so much. And then the other one is like a conversation on my show, on the Toxic Adventure. So hey, I see that.
I might see you over there, man. We'll see what happens. Hey guys, it's been 2.5 hours. You guys know I usually keep it around 2.5 to 3 hours. I don't do those marathons like Fatty and everybody else. You know what I'm saying? I try to keep it low, because this is my only day off and I got other things that I need to do. So I appreciate everybody coming. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe if you have not. And y'all know what it is, man. I'm out.